Tell us. Got it.
Right across these islands then, from high place to low, town, city, village, church bells ringing out, proclaiming the death of the Queen, but also signalling the reign of King Charles III, now of course head of the Church of England. And we can go to the Commons for a moment of silence in the chamber there. Both houses meeting today so that peers and MPs can pay their own tributes to the Queen. And we know that King Charles III will be speaking to Liz Truss, the Prime Minister, on his arrival.
Before I call the Prime Minister, it is with the greatest sadness that I rise to say a few words in tribute to Her late Majesty, Queen Elizabeth. Almost all of us in the House have experienced no other monarch this country's throne but Her late Majesty. There are indeed only a score or so members in this House who have already been born, let alone who can recall a time when she wasn't the Queen. She is wedded in our minds with the crown and all it stands for. At her accession in February 1952, she first came to the Palace of Westminster to open the session of Parliament in November 1952, when Winston Churchill was the Prime Minister and Speaker William Morrison was in the chair almost 70 years ago. 57 complete sessions of Parliament have passed since then, and as she was here to open all but 3 of them, as parliamentarians, we've celebrated with her for silver, golden, diamond jubilees, and of course marked her platinum jubilee this year, in which the lampstands have been unveiled in New Palace Yard. In this place, her reign saw 10 different speakers occupy the chair. During her reign, there were 18 general elections, and I'm sure the Prime Minister will remind of us how many of her predecessors she welcomed to, and always, I am sure, with quiet wisdom. As the longest serving monarch this country has known, she would have been assured of a notable entry in our history books, even were it not for the magnificence in which she undertook the role as Queen. But for a magnificent service, and what a service that entailed. Not just as head of the nation, but head of the Commonwealth, head of the armed forces and Supreme Governor of the Church of England. Over her reign, she has seen unprecedented social, cultural, technological change. Through it all, she was the most conscientious and dutiful of monarchs. But while she understood the inescapable nature of duty, which sometimes must have weighed upon her heavily, she also delighted in carrying it out, for she was the most devoted monarch. As well as queen, she was a wife, a mother, a grandmother and great-grandmother, roles she carried out with the same sense of vocation as well as human kindness as the role of queen. Her life, without unhappiness and troubles, but our memories of her will be filled with that image of a gently smiling dedication that showed throughout her life. Indeed, while this is a time of very considerable sadness, those memories of a noble, gracious lady who devoted her life to her family, the United Kingdom, and those nations around the world whom she served as queen, will bring us some consolation and joy. My deepest sympathies are with His Majesty, the King, and other members of the royal family, to whom I commend all our sincere condolences and support at this very, very sad time. Order. We are meeting today for tributes to Her late Majesty Queen Elizabeth. I would like to inform the House that we will sit today until approximately 10 p.m. for tributes. At approximately 6 o'clock, the House will be suspended while His Majesty, the King, makes his broadcast to the nation. Members present will be able to watch the broadcast on screens in the chamber. We will then resume our proceedings to continue with tributes. The House will then sit again tomorrow at 1 o'clock. The first business will be oath-taking for a small number of senior members. Members to be invited to take the oath tomorrow are being contacted by my office. All other members will have an opportunity to take the oath when the House returns. After oath-taking tomorrow, tributes will be continued. The House is expected to sit till approximately 10 p.m. The House is not expected to sit on Sunday. I now call the Prime Minister, Elizabeth Truss.
Mr. Speaker, in the hours since last night's shocking news, we have witnessed the most heartfelt outpouring of grief at the loss of Her late Majesty, the Queen. Crowds have gathered, flags have been lowered to half-mast, tributes have been sent from every continent around the world. On the death of her father, King George VI, Winston Churchill said the news had stilled the clatter and traffic of 20th century life in many lands. Now, 70 years later, in the tumult of the 21st century, life has paused again. Her late Majesty, Queen Elizabeth II, was one of the greatest leaders the world has ever known. She was the rock on which modern Britain was built. She came to the throne at just 25, in a country that was emerging from the shadow of war. She bequeaths a modern, dynamic nation that has grown and flourished under her reign. The United Kingdom is the great country it is today because of her. The Commonwealth is the family of nations it is today because of her. She was devoted to the union of England, Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland. She served 15 countries as head of state, and she loved them all. Her words of wisdom gave us strength in the most testing times. During the darkest moments of the pandemic, she gave us hope that we would meet again. She knew this generation of Britons would be as strong as any. And as we meet today, we remember the pledge she made on her 21st birthday to dedicate her life to service. The whole House will agree, never has a promise been so completely fulfilled. Her devotion to duty remains an example to us all. She carried out thousands of engagements. She took a red box every day. She gave her assent to countless pieces of legislation and was at the heart of our national life for 7 decades. As Supreme Governor of the Church of England, she drew on her deep faith. She was the nation's greatest diplomat. Her visits to post-apartheid South Africa and to the Republic of Ireland showed a unique ability to transcend difference and heal division. In total, she visited well over 100 countries. She met more people than any other monarch in our history. She gave counsel to prime ministers and ministers across government. I have personally greatly valued her wise advice. Only last October, I witnessed firsthand how she charmed the world's leading investors at Windsor Castle. She was always so proud of Britain and always embodied the spirit of our great country. She remained determined to carry out her duties, even at the age of 96. It was just 3 days ago at Balmoral that she invited...
We're breaking away from the Commons to show you pictures at Aberdeen Airport, and this is King Charles III, and we think the Queen Consort Camilla as well. They are preparing to make their journey back to London, and there is the King. He will of course have in his mind an idea of what he will be saying to the nation on this, the first full day of his reign, and as he thanks those members of the Royal Staff who have helped him and guided him and the rest of the royal family through the last few hours. Camilla, I think, there under the umbrella. He will have, I'm sure, a sense of what he wants to say to the nation tonight. We were talking to the historian Sir Simon Shower a little bit earlier on. He knew the Queen and he's known Prince Charles for 30 some years, and he suggested that perhaps one key part of the address tonight to the nation will be that sense of continuity, that the legacy of his mother, the Queen, now departed, will continue in terms of the strength and grit and fortitude that she showed in her rule, and he will endeavour to continue that legacy. There they are, just having boarded that plane, their Aria flight, heading back to London, where he will be meeting Liz Truss, who is still on her feet, I see, in the Commons, making her remarks in remembrance of the Queen. Let's go back to the chamber.
I was grateful to speak to His Majesty last night and offer my condolences. Even as he mourns, his sense of duty and service is clear. He has already made a profound contribution through his work on conservation, education, and his tireless diplomacy. We owe him our loyalty and devotion. The British people, the Commonwealth, and all of us in this House will support him as he takes our country forward to a new era of hope and progress, our new Carolean age. The crown endures, our nation endures, and in that spirit I say, God save the King.
I now call the